Okay, I'd like to call the Site Plan Review Committee to order for Thursday, April 8th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kowalski,
Here.
Dennis Persick,
Here.
Dan Pamprin,
Here.
Gary Paul,
Here.
Andy Krosky,
Here.
Dale Quinn,
Here.
and Chris is excused.
Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform. I have no changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve.
Move the agenda is approved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Action on the site plan review minutes for March 16th, 2021.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 6, review plans for the following locations. 6A, action regarding site plan review for KFC/Long John Silver's exterior remodel, 2314 South Oneida Street, parcel VA-99-4-2. Karen.
The requested site plan reviews for the KFC Long John Silver's property on South Oneida Street. As you can see right here, it's a pretty basic remodel in terms of the exterior renovations. So just removing the pyramid components of the front elevation that you see on the screen right here. Otherwise, it's purely cosmetic renovations, just simply because of the removal of the pyramid component subject to a building permit. It did have to come through site plan review for formal approval.
Nothing to do with parking or anything of that nature,
Nope, nothing with parking, signage, or anything else.
all building.
Other than repairing the.
Move to approve as presented with the staff conditions.
Right, thanks, Gary. I should mention that just the couple staff recommended conditions on there, one of which is to repair the existing dumpster enclosure gates, and then meeting all applicable sections of 17-2-200.
Okay, so we have that's okay with the first and second, okay?
Yep.
We have a motion by Gary, a second by Andy to approve with conditions of approval. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The one thing, all those opposed? Motion carried. If everybody could talk into their mic, so that everybody can hear. Thank you very much. Okay, 6B, action regarding requested site plan for Fox Valley Metal Tech Edition, 1201 Parkview Drive, parcel VA-228-14-L-78. Aaron.
Okay, Consolidated Construction Company on behalf of owner 1201 Associates LLC, Fox Valley Metal Tech, submitted plans for a proposed 74,700 square foot addition to their existing building on Parkview Drive. If you look up on the screen, you can kind of outline the existing building right here. And the addition will be on the south side right here, this rectangular addition to the rear. The addition is proposed to be used primarily for manufacturing and storage. Some additional improvements to the site include the addition of vehicle and truck trailer parking, drive lanes, truck docks, and stormwater management facilities. So stormwater management pond will be located right here, adjacent to the little drainage way to the northwest of the property. Exterior materials are proposed to consist of concealed fastener metal panels and transom windows. I'll scroll down to an elevation here at the end. Fairly standard addition within the industrial park. As the addition is less than 75% of the square footage of the existing building, they can use the existing composition of materials that they currently have on the building. The new trailer parking area that'll be located to the southern end of the property will also be asphalted. The existing gravel driveway areas will remain gravel at this time. In terms of recommended conditions of approval, fairly standard. All new ground-mounted and rooftop mechanicals greater than 8 inches visible from the street or adjoining properties are to be screened. Meet all applicable requirements of the Ashwaubenon site plan review and all the municipal ordinances. In terms of engineering, contact Al Farber for utility lateral installation and cost. That's for water. For stormwater, submit the stormwater report for village review and approval, and that was submitted in the meantime. Public safety, coordinate with the Ashwaubenon Public Safety regarding the potential need for a private fire hydrant to service the addition. So we'll be working with APS to verify the need or no need for that additional private fire hydrant. Representatives of Fox Valley Metal Tech are online. If you have any questions for them, otherwise I'm happy to answer any questions for you as well.
I have no question. I think it's great that we have an existing business expanding by that large square footage. Anybody have questions?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second.
Is that with staff conditions?
With staff conditions.
Okay, and the second is with,
Yes.
okay, we have a motion to approve with staff conditions. Yeah, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you. 6C, action regarding request to amend the Bay Park Square planned unit development setback along South Oneida Street. Aaron.
You're probably familiar with this. This was brought up during review of the Chick-fil-A at the Bay Park Square Mall area on South Oneida Street. The PUD document refers the setbacks for the properties back to the village ordinances, which in this location, as a collector street or major arterial, actually requires a 35-foot setback from the street. The structure, the building itself is proposed to be about 27 feet, and the driveway or drive-through canopy is proposed to be basically on the lot line. As a village, we have been promoting buildings closer to the street, particularly along Oneida Street. The request for the PUD is to reduce it down to 25-foot setback in this area for the building and 0 for the canopy. That would include not just Chick-fil-A, but it would include the entire yellow highlighted area for the PUD area. This would also then bring in 2 additional buildings into compliance. As it stands right now, there are 2 other buildings that are within the 35-foot setback, likely result of the reconstruction of Oneida Street. So this would bring them into compliance with the setback requirements as well. I think one thing to kind of keep in mind here is as we move forward, I may come before you at some point in this not too distant future to take a look at reducing our setbacks in general along Oneida Street for our B3 Community Business District. I think it's something we just need to evaluate overall as a community.
Aaron, if the setback was 32 feet, and we let some buildings in there that are less than 32 feet, how come this wasn't changed then?
So those properties were actually grandfathered in. So they were 35 feet. What happened was when Oneida Street was reconstructed, some additional right-of-way was acquired, and that brought their setback within that 35-foot setback.
Due to the construction of the new street?
That's correct.
All right, because there's nothing after that till now then. All right, I'll move to approve the 25% or 25-foot setback as presented. If there's any staff comments.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the 25-foot setback along Oneida Street. Any more comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, this then will go to Plan Commission and Village Board for formal approval.
Plan Commission at 5:30 tonight.
That's right.
Okay, number 6D, action regarding site plan review for Doozys Patio, 1992 Holmgren Way, parcel VA-41-5. Aaron.
Similar to a lot of other businesses in the community, they're seeing a real movement towards outdoor dining, outdoor seating, in terms of taking advantage of the nice weather when we have it, but also to promote social distance in the era of COVID. What Doozys is proposing is to take the front area where they currently have parking in front of their building along Holmgren Way and convert that into an outdoor dining entertainment area, similar to what you see at Stadium View and what the bar is working on right now. Pretty straightforward project in terms of just specifics. As you see on screen, this will be a turf type material with seating, some fireplaces. And there's also 2 shipping containers to be used for a stage and for a bar. In discussions with the Ashwaubenon Public Safety, it was noted that this area along here is actually a fire lane. So the bar area would have to be brought in a little bit to stay out of the fire lane, to maintain that 24-foot width for a firefighting equipment. In terms of staff conditions of approval, from engineering, confirm there's not a utility easement west of Holmgren Way, or west of the Holmgren Way right-of-way. That'd be right along here, and I believe that it has been worked on already. Water and sewer, just a note from engineering, water and sewer services to the building run through this area. If there's a service issue in the future, it would disturb the patio area. So again, just an informational point for the ownership. From public safety, shift the location of the bar container to the north out of the designated fire lane. And then in general, just coordinate with the Ashwaubenon Public Safety regarding fire lane markings. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, Andy Szymanski from Doozys is also in the audience if you have any questions for him.
The other question I have is, it looks
Could you
like-
talk into your mic, Dale, just so they could hear?
Looks like you're eliminating a bunch of parking stalls. Is that going to meet the requirements when they're all done?
Right, it will. So within this area, this was probably 3 years ago now, within the sports entertainment and village center districts, we actually eliminated the minimum parking standards as long as someone had a parking plan in place to identify how exactly they're going to handle their parking. In this case, there is the same ownership group does own the parking lot immediately to the south of the building, and that does provide more than adequate parking, even at a standard ratio for parking.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, so the question that I have, this looks really, the picture, looks really nice how you've got the planters, and I know that we changed some of the rules. You don't have to have a solid fencing or anything like that. Do we still require that they have to have, so signs up that says no alcohol beyond this point, or do you do that now? I don't.
We do require signage stating no alcohol beyond this point. That certainly can be located on the planters or as separate signage.
Okay.
And the intent of that really was to avoid the bike racks that you see,
Right,
and that just,
right.
it didn't provide a great image for the community.
Right, no, this looks really nice, and I know that each property, does their own style, and it looks very nice. Thank you.
Anything else, Aaron? Or?
So the bar and
Andy.
stage, are those permanent?
I'll probably hand it off to Andy for that. Andy, would you mind step up here?
State your name and address for the record, please, Andy.
Maybe just take your mask off and speak.
Andy Szymanski, 2295 Lost Dolphin, De Pere, Wisconsin. So Dan, to answer your question, the containers are, I'll call semi-permanent. Theoretically, you could take a forklift and pick them up, but they're going to have utilities run to them. So we have to disconnect the utilities, but for power to them, we're going to permanently put it on, trench it into its work.
So Aaron, do we mount those? I mean, is there some kind of increment in a large windstorm or not?
I'd probably refer to Andy or to Shoe Construction on that, how exactly they're affixed.
I think by the time you put the equipment inside those containers, I don't anticipate that they're going to be going anywhere, Dan.
Okay.
Have you had, we have a couple containers on our other sites, and we've never had an issue with them moving, sliding, or any other issues with them.
It's the only question I had.
I also know that on the south side of that property, you have that easement.
Correct.
So this shipping container does not impede the easement, does it?
It does not. So actually, there's the easement there, and then in addition to the easement, there's a fire lane. So there's actually there's probably,
Okay,
don't quote me on this, but probably about 50 to 60 feet of clearance for traffic and travel along there.
okay.
So that little green box that I'm seeing on the south side on the drawing here, that's a container is what you're saying?
You
And-
bet.
And there's plenty of room to get around there?
Yes, sir. And that container from that rendering that you see there is actually going to be moved to the north.
It's going to be moved, oh,
Correct.
to
And-
eliminate.
The one with the fire lane?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we're going to paint the container, so it's not just a
Like a container.
standard-looking container. We want it to look and feel fun and active and sports themed, so.
Okay. Question on the lot next door. We know, or I should say, we gave you a permit to use that, first of all, you did a great job on doing it. The question I have, it was a temporary situation where within 5 years you were thinking of building on that, and we let you get away without curbing it. Is that any effect, or I should say, is there any future plans on that, or are we going to have to discuss that within the 5-year period of when we did that the last time?
We don't have any current plans to do anything with that at this point.
Okay, so you still have a few years left on that grace period for curbing it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Dan Pamper and a second by Andy Kay
With staff.
to approve with staff conditions. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
And similar to the last item, this will go to Plan Commission tonight at 5:30 and then to Village Board for final approval because it is within the Sports Entertainment District.
6E, action regarding requested site plan review for Merge Urban Development Building Number 1, climbing gym at 680 Block Mike McCarthy Way, parcels VA-54-2 and VA-55-A. Aaron?
Okay, previously, the Site Plan Review Committee, Plan Commission, and Village Board had approved the 5-story Merge Urban Development mixed-use building on the north side of Mike McCarthy Way. At that time, there was a kind of a box on those plans designated as a climbing gym. The exterior plans weren't quite ready at that time for formal approval, so we did say that would be coming forward at a future meeting. This is that future meeting. This is a pretty exciting development from not just an Ashwaubenon standpoint, but I think from a regional standpoint in terms of a large-scale rock climbing facility that we really don't have within Northeast Wisconsin at this time. In terms of exterior materials, as you can see on the exterior elevations on the screen, it is proposed to be metal panels with concealed fasteners, as well as having a minimum 3-foot masonry wainscot along the base of the building, consistent with our requirements. You can see the elevation here. This is from looking at it from the east, which would be the LP Meridian side of the project, looking that way. This is the Merge apartment building right here, and this would be the climbing gym. The main entrance would actually be to the rear by the parking lot with a glass curtain wall and entrance right there. The mass of the building itself will be broken up by some larger trees. I did speak with the development team to see if there's any way to, kind of break up the mass a little bit of the building. They are proposing using different shades of gray, kind of creating kind of a sleek look, so I understand that. And in terms of windows, it became very difficult to try to put windows in when you have basically a 4-story climbing wall on the back side of it. In terms of just additional details, in terms of the trees, there'll be 6 Princeton Century ginkgo biloba trees, which probably means something to Andy, but not so much to me, to help break up the mass. In addition, kind of unique feature here is that to build on this theme is, if you remember in the original building, it's kind of an L-shaped, and there's a patio area in the front. It there'll be 2 small-scale little climbing hills they're going to put into the patio there to help do a little bit of advertising, but also provide a unique interest to that patio plaza area. In terms of recommended conditions of approval, pretty standard. All ground-mounted and roof-mounted mechanical units and associated materials need to be screened from view from the subject property line and right-of-way boundaries. All metal panels are to utilize concealed fasteners. A 3-foot masonry wainscot from finished elevation is required for metal panels, and that was addressed already. As the building is greater than 50 feet tall and within Airport Zoning District C, the applicant must obtain an application for height permit and approval from the Green Bay Austin Straubel Airport Director. Meet all their applicable requirements of the Ashwaubenon site plan review, all their municipal ordinances. Public safety, coordinate with Ashwaubenon public safety and the potential need for private fire hydrants. An inclusion of a Knox box at the primary entrance. From Forestry, provide a detailed planting schedule with scientific and common names of proposed plantings for review and approval by Forestry. Provide detailed planting diagrams for all landscaped areas. And these are actually taken from the previous development, from the merge apartment as well. Owner will be responsible for all plant material planted in the right-of-way with understanding that the village will not be held responsible for damage caused as a result of normal operations. Please ensure maximum plant height is no greater than 30 inches. That's within the right-of-way. From Bike and Ped, inclusion of bicycle parking that meets the recommendations of the Association of Pedestrian and Bicycling Professionals near the retail use, and a second for tenants near their primary entrance. So that's taken from the original recommendation. So there should be some bicycle parking for this as well. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we do have Rose Schroeder as representing the ownership group from Merge Urban Development. We also have the founders of the proposed to be named Odyssey Climbing Gym, Ben Ganther and Sam Howard online as well, if you have any questions for them.
So I have a question. So there is, because we don't have the whole development here, this is just the first part of it. So there is planned to be a building to the east of this.
Right, so this is phase 1 of the project.
So that'll cover some of this massive metal on the
Right.
east side of the building?
Yes, we're meeting with the Merge group next week, I believe it is, to begin discussions on phase 2.
All right, so if you're coming, say, west, right now you're going to see this massive metal wall with
Right.
nothing in it.
Mhm.
And the plan is to have another similar type building close to that massive wall.
Yep, that's right. That goes back to the original proposal that Merge put together for the whole area.
All right, that's the only question I had. I'll make a motion to approve with the staff recommendations.
Okay.
I think it's pretty cool.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to recommend approval with staff conditions. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 7, department reports.
There are, again, a number of projects in the background that are all pretty exciting. I expect to bring some of those through sometime, hopefully this summer, but you're in luck because nothing was submitted for our next meeting. So you get a Tuesday off.
Oh, so we won't have a meeting on the 20th.
Now I gotta work for a couple hours, is that what you're saying?
Okay. So there's no items for next
You use that
agenda.
term pretty loosely.
I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Bad term on your.
This